Welcome back to the Ergo Proxy Retrospective, and with the supporting cast examined, it's time we look into the main duo of the series, that being the duo of Riel and Vincent. To start, we will look at Riel, as I feel that Vincent should be the final character examined, seeing as that his alter ego is literally the name of the show. That's not to say Riel is boring or unimportant, no, in fact she's just as important as Vincent, and the two's development together is a really good strength of the show. So what is this development, and what does she do? Now, Riel is introduced in episode 1 as an investigator working on a series of homicides which have just started around the dome of Romdau. At first, thinking the murders must be the work of an infected autorev, she goes out to inspect one of the latest attack sites, but while investigating the site, is attacked by a proxy and witnesses claw marks that only a proxy could make. This, and the fact that Iggy says, quote, "Further examination will violate assigned protocols," let her know that something big is happening. In spite of this, though, she goes home for the night, where she is attacked and witnesses Ergo Proxy and Monad Proxy fight. This leaves her quite shaken, and from here, she insists on knowing the truth of what attacked her and what lies beyond what she is told. Her suspicions are further heightened when she is told that she is simply having a mental breakdown caused by the stress of being stalked by Vincent, a man she knows too meek to do such a thing. She now knows that she's being lied to. Her instincts tell her she must meet Vincent in order to learn more. After committing to the bogus psychiatric exam required of her, she persists Daedalus to assist her for the time being, and eventually tracks down Vincent, only to watch him leap out of the air vent when Raul and the security bureau arrive. Determined, she follows him to the commune, only to fall sick and once again fail to bring him back. It is upon her return to Romdo, though, that she is the victim of a failed assassination attempt, although she does use this to her advantage, and uses it to fake her death and sneak out of the dome once more, this time equipped with anti-proxy bullets made by Daedalus. She also promises to bring him a new proxy. From here, she and Iggy once again run into Vincent, and with the revelation that he is a proxy, they decide that they should continue together to Mosque to help unlock his past and the true nature of the proxy. This decision, however, sees Iggy, her autorev now with Cogito virus, snap though, and he attempts to forcefully bring Riel back to Romdau. This plot is thwarted, however, when the autorev of a previously killed proxy attempts to blow up Riel, only to be carried away by Iggy, who is consumed in the blast. With Iggy reduced to but a malfunctioning head, Riel is forced to put him down. Her realizing that he had Cogito the whole time, and his rants about how selfish and inefficient she really is, start to open up her eyes about herself. From here, she journeys with Vincent and Pino to Mosque, and slowly warms up to both of them and grows as a person. In fact, Vincent even confesses feelings for her, which, while not focused on too much, seem to be returned by the end of the series. He also tells her to shoot him if he wanders too far from his moral ideals. On the way to Mosque, the group are stuck in a salt flat for a few weeks in episode 16. And it is here that Riel finally learns the values of others and of leisure. While she at first sees Vincent and Pino as complacent and a bit annoying, she eventually realizes that they are just enjoying human interaction, and that she needs to relax. From here, she is much more compassionate, and at Mosque even confronts a distraught Vincent, and agrees with him that their fate is in Romdau. When they return to Romdau, Riel goes about exploring the ruined dome and learning what happened. Finally, she ends up in the throne room and witnesses Vincent kill her grandfather, the man he appointed regent, and while she considers shooting him, is interrupted when Raul shoots Vincent instead. After this brief incident, the two discuss in the throne room about what is happening. It is here that Riel has a revelation. Vincent, seemingly distraught and having no idea what's going on or what to do, is interrupted when Riel proclaims that her truth has revealed the existence of a higher being. This is Proxy 1, of course, who opens the door for them, and she walks with Vincent to meet him, although she has to leave relatively quickly once Romdau's self-destruct is activated by Daedalus. It is from here she talks to him one last time and escapes the burning dome. At the end of the series, she is rescued by Pino and smiles at the waiting Vincent. While Riel may not necessarily be the most complex character, she's arguably the one that grows the most. And this shows one of the hidden strengths of Ergo Proxy, with its surprisingly fleshed out character development. While one of the criticisms leveled at the show is that the main characters, and Riel especially, are unlikable, she's only a tad petulant at times early on, and this is obviously intentional. She's written to be a little insufferable at the beginning so that we can see her growth by the end of the series. It only furthers her evolution as a person. So how is she petulant? Well, at the beginning of the series, and to various extents up to episode 16, she always seems kind of bored, or self-centered, or irritable, or disappointed, or impatient, or cold, or a few other less than desirable traits. She comes off as a bit of a spoiled brat, and it is mentioned several times how she owes more to her status as the regent's granddaughter than anything else. She seems to place no real value on autorevs, and always seems kind of annoyed, like everything around her is a waste of time. As time goes on, however, Riel learns the ability to empathize more, and more openly, and be more open, and to realize that not everything can or will be done immediately. The death of Iggy and her time with Vincent and Pino teach her that not all human interaction is bad or insufferable, and that human interactions have an inherent and undefinable value which must be treasured. This is her greatest takeaway from her journey, and the most important lesson she learns. She learns that humans are social creatures, and some organic interaction is needed to maintain both a healthy outlook on life and get through hard times. She learns that she cannot do everything alone or expect everyone to focus solely on her. She can't even do that. Initially, she has a stubbornly independent mindset with her at the center. While her quest for enlightenment is justified, her mindset is not, and this is gradually rectified as she becomes less selfish and learns the value of life and interactions. She initially sees Vincent as kind of a scrub, and Pino as a useless child, although ends up seeing Vincent as a man whose strength comes from his compassion, and Pino is basically her child. She has learned to treasure both of them, and life in general. She has learned that happiness lies more in how one approaches life than anything else. Her previous approach of focusing on what she doesn't have, what is in the way, and what isn't working, is slowly replaced by one valuing what she has, those people around her she has, what she has learned, and what she is capable of. She embraces self-improvement and growth, and ironically, though her journey is dangerous and harsh, it actually leaves her with a better and happier view of life, as she has come to appreciate her own efforts and the presence of those around her. She has learned the value of human interaction and self-improvement, all the while actually doing something productive, learning the mysteries of the proxy. By the end of the series, Riel is actually quite a pleasant and compassionate woman, valuing both Pino and Vincent and life itself. If anything, her quest and growth are another trumpet that the show uses to sing the praise for hard work and self-improvement. That's not to say Riel doesn't have some inherent good qualities either. While she starts with many bad qualities early on, she also starts with several positive qualities baked into her personality, and these qualities mature into excellent character strengths as the show goes on. These positive qualities are her calm nature, her logical abilities, her work ethic, and her desire to know. These are all traits which greatly assist her throughout the quest, and in turn evolve into her greatest strengths. Her calm nature and logical abilities assure that Riel always has some sort of plan, or at least doesn't panic when that plan seems to go awry. In fact, the few times she does panic are signs that something big is happening, and we need to pay attention to what that is. She helps Vincent stay on track, and her work ethic ensures that the quest for truth always stays on schedule. In fact, her interactions with Vincent are an excellent showing for both characters' strengths and weaknesses, and how they overcome them together. While Riel is driven and efficient, she's also cold and impatient. While Vincent is compassionate and patient, he's also scared and kind of needs someone to push him along. Thus, Riel keeps Vincent moving and on track, while her interactions with Vincent and Pino teach her to be more compassionate and patient, and help her generally reframe her view of life. They do, however, also grow in each other's positive traits, as they help refine each other's strengths. Vincent was patient before, but with Riel's help, patience now furnishes diligence in searching for the truth. With Riel, her work ethic at first manifested itself as somewhat of an impatient and pushy urge, although after episode 16, it starts to manifest itself more internally, and makes sure that she doesn't get discouraged from searching for the truth. This need to know, of course, is Riel's most defining trait, and one I would argue is good. It is, after all, what ends up driving the plot along, as if Riel's curiosity had not piqued in the first place, she never would have bothered to pursue Vincent, or start the chain of events which saw Ergo Proxy take place. Her presence and her focus-driven actions are clear testaments to her desire to know, and the importance of this desire. It is this kind of focus and burning desire to know which she also imparts on the audience, as she lets the audience in on the fact that even though we may not be aware of the world building of Ergo Proxy, we are aware that something is up in it, and it is something which we naturally find very curious. This also helps drive the plot along, as it means that she can serve both as an excellent source of exposition and as an excellent source of discovery, both for the cast and for those of us watching. For this reason, her curiosity and desire to know also tie into the Gnostic themes of Ergo Proxy. While Gnosticism will get a brief video of its own explaining its concepts and execution in the show, it should be noted that Riel is the character which embodies it the most. While she is not a literal manifestation of Gnostic principles, that would be more akin to, say, Vincent, she is the one which seems to embrace them the most by the end, because it is her that always proclaims a hidden truth, and in the end is rewarded by being shown the hidden truth. Her quest for enlightenment is actually validated at the end, and it is proven that there is a power beyond what she thought was initially there. Now, of course, this is Proxy 1, who ends up going down with Ramdao, but the point is the same. The point is that her quest for enlightenment and curiosity were validated, and that her pursuit of truth was something that ultimately helped her overcome both herself and many other obstacles in the way of her own character growth. While these were not necessarily direct products of finding out who Proxy 1 is, they were byproducts of them, and as such should be considered benefits of the quest for truth.
and that the quest for truth's beneficial nature cannot be overstated.
While it does mean she gets reprimanded at work and doesn't have the most respect for established norms, it also means that she questions almost everything, and in the end grows quite a bit as a character and a person. She wants to know what she doesn't know for both herself and her own growth. She champions the idea that everyone should want to know and understand what's happening around them, in order to not only further their own growth, but the growth of society in general. As such, she ultimately champions personal growth as well. She is never content with not knowing, and as a result embarks on a quest for enlightenment, which ultimately reshapes who she is as a person into a much more mature, compassionate, and capable version. Her greatest message to the viewer is that while learning the truth may not always make you happy, it will help you grow the most, and ultimately shape your own fate and truth into a happy one.